This is Olympia top 8 if he's in good condition.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel. So let's start this video with this update of the Persian move, Hadi Chuban, throwing around those 155s for reps like they're nothing. And now that the Olympia prep that has officially begun for Hadi Chuban, he's gonna continue to get stronger and stronger over the next few months. And we saw him training so dangerously heavy, even very close to the Olympia last year. But that is trademark Hadi Chuban. He always trains like an absolute beast. So that gnarly kind of condition of Hadi Chuban, that is also a product of his Persian genetics, as everyone at that level trains extremely damn hard. But I think, and you guys will agree, there isn't anyone in the men's open bodybuilding right now who rivals Hadi Chuban in terms of the hardness that he brings. And that too every single time to the stage, especially from the front. And that is something which is also attributed to Hadi's training style. So for those of you guys who do not know, this is gonna be Hadi Chuban's 7th consecutive Miss Olympia. So if we consider these 3 guys, Hadi, Samson and Derek, to be the possible Olympia top 3 again this year, and the title contenders this year again, then Hadi Chuban is the most experienced one. And yes, I know, Derek started competing at the Olympia before Hadi Chuban, as he was competing in the 212. But as far as the men's open is concerned, Hadi has been on the scene longer than both Derek and Samson. So what are the chances of Hadi Chuban winning back that Olympia title this year? Well, we are talking about a guy who is arguably the most consistent guy when it comes to peaking 100% for every single show. He does that to near perfection every single time. And even if we look at his Olympia look from last year, he was pretty damn on. He just wasn't as good as he was at the Arnold Ohio last year. And at the same time, Samson Dauda brought his absolute best. And that is why he won the Olympia. And that is why Hadi Chuban paid for it. Now for Hadi to reclaim that Olympia throne, he has to be 100% on. And that too in terms of everything. Now interestingly, Hadi's personal favorite physique, that still isn't the one he presented at the Arnold Ohio last year. That is the one from Vancouver Pro back in 2019, where he was a smaller version of himself, but absolutely ripped to the bone and so goddamn shredded. So these pictures mark 2 weeks out for the mutant Nick Walker from his comeback show, this upcoming mighty Pittsburgh Pro. So did someone else also noticed his shoulders looking a bit funky in that such a shot? So I am sure many of you guys remember this. Just a few years back, many bodybuilding fans out there called out Hadi Chuban for having those kind of pointy shoulders. And by the way, that is something that became such a huge controversy at the Olympia back in 2021. And people even say that to this day, that one of the reasons Hadi lost that Olympia title, or he placed 3rd behind Big Ramy and Brandon Carey, was because of those pointy shoulders. Now personally, I do not think that it is oil. He might be pinning here, and it's just inflammation. But do let me know what did you guys think. Now on a separate note, glad to see that Nick Walker is playing the conditioning game, and he's sticking to his trademark conditioning and dryness and hardness. And the man isn't conscious about what his stage weight is gonna be, because honestly it just doesn't really matter. All that matters is how he compares to the likes of the reigning Arnold champion Derek Lensford and the top 4 best bodybuilder in the world, Martin Fitzwater. Now Nick has gotten a lot of his hype back that he lost after the New York Pro last year, because so many predictions which are being made for this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro, like the ones in the Menace podcast in their latest episode, all 3 of the experts, Chris, Milos and DJ, they had Nick Walker in 2nd. Now I know that is kind of a loss if you see that from Nick's perspective, as the man only wants the gold, he only cares about the win, and he wanna beat Derek Lensford. But just remember, in order for him to place 2nd, he's gonna have to beat Martin Fitzwater. And Martin, as I just mentioned, was top 4 at the Olympia last year. And let's give him some credit. He looked so complete from the front, so dense, and so goddamn crazy from the back as well. And in this discussion of Nick versus Derek, Nick has to rely a lot on Derek coming in off and missing his mark in order to push for the win. Now let's just hope that Nick Walker doesn't push so far beyond chasing that conditioning that he loses his quad sweep one more time the same way he did back at the Arnold 2023, where his legs looked so straight from the front that it kind of seemed like he doesn't have any quad sweep at all. Now the thing is, his waist won't look small next to any of these guys, no matter what he does. So in order to truly stand out, he has to bring back that freak factor, like the one that he had back at the Olympia 2022, when he placed top 3 in the world. Guys, we have a limited time offer. If you buy any flavor of Bloodshot, you are gonna get a free Dying Breed t-shirt. The discount code is on the screen right now, and use the code Fazi10 to get 10% extra discount. Next up, we have an update from Derek Lensford, the man to beat at the first ever Pittsburgh Pro. So 2 weeks out, still keeping the intensity pretty damn high. Now we all know his back is gonna be just untouchable in this show, and we did see a glimpse of what his back is looking like at 14 days out of this year's mighty Pittsburgh Pro. And I'm gonna say, as always, the density and the incredible amount of thickness and the width that just never fails to amaze anyone out there. Just think about this for a second. He was so far off at the Olympia last year, and he still won the back double biceps, and that too by quite some margin, against both Hadi and Samson. So all Derek and Chris Acito need to do is to keep his legs big and full all the way till it is showtime, and then pull out the water. So his Arnold peak for this year, that was absolute perfection. The conditioning, the fullness, the roundness, the man had everything. And to top it all off, he brought up his quads to such a great extent that it was so goddamn unbelievable. Now the history of this sport has shown us that it is just extremely hard to duplicate that same exact look from one show to the next one. We saw this happen with Ronnie Coleman in 2001, where he won the Arnold, delivering one of the most amazing performances of his entire career. But that same year, he nearly lost the Olympia to Jay Cutler. And kind of same thing happened to Samson Dauda from the Olympia last year to the Arnold this year. But that being said, we have to keep in mind, Gary can just be totally different, as this is the first time he's competing multiple times in a single year. And the competition must pray and hope that this just doesn't come true. He doesn't get better from one show to the next one. Otherwise, it is already over. Because if Derek shows up even better at this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro, compared to what we saw at this past Arnold, he isn't just walking away with the win at this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro. He's probably gonna win back his Olympia title this year as well, as he has more room for improvements compared to someone like Hadi Chuban. The quads are very peeled, very detailed, and at the same time looking so damn big. And for whatever reason, up until last year, some people were complaining that Derek doesn't train hard. He 100% changed that narrative in the past 1 year. The man puts his heart and soul into the prep. He gives his 100% in the gym, and maybe even more than that. So does Derek look a bit behind in terms of the detail on his shoulders and on his chest? Well, he was spotted hitting some shots at the end of that chest workout, and the man looked big and full as a house. Now it is all about how he peaks for this upcoming show and how he looks on the day of the show. He has been able to stay very big and very lean all the way till 2 weeks out, and all they need to do is to manipulate that water at the very end, and that's pretty much it.
If he looks like this but like 5% sharper,
Yeah.
he is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I think Ken Colossus is the biggest trouble for everybody.
Next up, we have a 2 weeks out physique update from Leandro Paris, getting better by the day, and they must be happy that he's getting all this positive feedback and all this attention from the bodybuilding media. So all the guys in the bro chat, they talked so highly of him, and honestly, as per many people, if he was just a bit more sharper and he was in a bad condition at the Arnold Brazil this year, he would have given Good Vito a very serious one for his money. And some even say that he could have beaten him, and that is a massive statement. Now, the most blunt statement that was made by Ian Valier, who sees Leandro as a top 8 Olympian.
This is Olympia top 8 if he's in good condition.
Well, in just another 2 weeks' time, he's gonna be sharing the stage with some of the best in the business. And nobody expects him to crack top 4 against this kind of lineup. But the size that this guy carries, and the way he has been looking better in all of these physique updates after this past Arnold Brazil in these past few weeks, if he can just get those comparisons with all these guys, and maybe even beat Good Vito, his stocks are just gonna skyrocket. But that being said, all these guys, they are expecting him to maintain that kind of size that he had in Brazil, while improving his conditioning. Now that is a very big risk. Leandro has put on a lot of size since 2023, and the man looked so goddamn massive on the stage. Plus, he has more of an aesthetic look to him. But if he chases more conditioning, there is a chance that he might lose some of his wow factor. Now he can definitely make it to this year's Olympia stage if he enters the show with less of a deep lineup. So the men's physique champion from this past Arnold, Ali Bilal, just made a big announcement that he isn't gonna be competing at this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro as well as the New York Pro for some personal reasons. Now that is a really sad news, as the people who follow men's physique, they were really looking forward to this amazing battle between Brandon Hendrickson and Ali Bilal. And now it is Brandon's show to lose. Now Brandon did actually responded to Ali pulling out of the show, and he was very respectful towards the defending Pittsburgh Pro champ. Now he isn't gonna back off the gas, irrespective of the lineup here or who is gonna be his biggest competition. So what could be the reason for him backing out of this show? Now for the people who are saying that the man is afraid of Brandon Hendrickson, well, that just isn't logical, as both these guys, they are eventually gonna share the same Olympia stage in October this year. It could be a health reason, or as he said, a personal reason, as Ali has been prepping for a long time now. And the worst case scenario, that would be not being fresh for this upcoming Miss Olympia, as he's a real threat to the reigning champion Ryan Terry. Now we have seen that the statement that Ali made after the Arnold, reacting to the comments of Arnold Schwarzenegger, they just did not go in his favor, and they just did not make him any more likable, especially among the major bodybuilding community. In fact, he's still being trolled over all those comments. Now it's not great for the overall men's physique division, as this battle between Ali Bilal and Brandon, that could have resulted in a great rivalry for this upcoming Miss Olympia. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.